Another big sentencing in court today. A Tempe mom convicted of killing her two young children with a meat cleaver. Yui Inoue was sentenced to 2 life sentences in prison for killing her kids, Mia and Kai, back in 2021.
The I-Team's Erica Stapleton has been covering this case for the last 4 years. Erica, this wasn't just a murder trial. This was a woman murdering her own children. It must have been so emotional today.
Of course, Mark Tram extremely emotional in this courtroom. And it was interesting because Yui Inoue essentially skipped her trial. She waived her right to be there. But today she had to be in that courtroom facing a judge as she faced her double murder conviction for cutting her children's lives short.
The defendant be in prison for her natural life.
Yui Inoue will spend the rest of her life in an Arizona prison.
This has been one of the most difficult cases that the investigators, the medical examiner, the crime scene specialists, and lawyers on both sides have ever worked on.
Earlier this year, a jury convicted Inoue of murder in the deaths of her 2 kids, 9-year-old Mia and 7-year-old Kai. The murders happened almost 4 years ago in May 2021 at the family's apartment in Tempe, after police had already visited the home for a domestic disturbance. Prosecutors believe Inoue killed her kids with a meat cleaver to get back at her husband because they were going through a divorce.
At no point over the past 4 years has she shown any remorse about what she did to her children, to her husband, or to the community.
At sentencing, the children's uncle told the judge about his family's immense grief. So did the principal from Kyrene Del Cielo, the children's school.
Their absence from our school community has been felt every day since their death. We miss their warm and welcoming smiles. We miss their gentle spirits. We miss their infectious giggles.
One of the hardest things to do, she said, was guide the school community through the murders of their students, their friends.
Although they were both children, I want this court to know that their short lives mattered.
Inoue's defense attorney said the defendant had mental health issues and that she was involuntarily evaluated twice in the months leading up to her children's deaths.
She had told Officer Couch that voices told her to kill her kids or hurt her kids.
The I-Team also found that Inoue was being investigated for neglect by the Department of Child Safety at the time of the children's deaths. DCS said it did not find evidence to remove the children from the home before they were killed. Through a Japanese translator, Inoue denied her kids were dead.
My children are not dead. My parents have them. They are spending their time with my parents.
The 2 life sentences for her children's deaths are consecutive, the brutality in this case rendering even the judge nearly speechless.
Words can't really adequately describe. I can't imagine what those children went through in their last minutes, the fear, the pain, the suffering. It's incomprehensible.
Now, that judge said in his nearly 2 decades on the bench, this has been probably the hardest case he's had to sit through. And, I just think that speaks to the impact not only these 2 deaths had on the community and their friends and their school, but people inside the courtroom. Some of the jurors were also there to see the sentencing today. We're live in Phoenix. Erica Stapleton, 12 News.
Erica, thanks.